अकेला. Into this world we have come alone. और जाए भी अकेला. And in a similar manner, when we take our exit, we shall leave alone. 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला. When we do take stock of our lives, we realize that this life is a very short visit to a mela. This is a world of strangers. No one is yours. Although everyone lives, I am still alone. आए भी अकेला और जाए भी अकेला.
बोलो सियापति रामचंद्र की जय. श्री वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय. Namaste devotees, Sitaram. Good afternoon to each and every one of you. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here today as we join in the performance of Antishti Sanskar here today. As we join in this Antishti Sanskar, the final rite ceremony. In Sanatana Dharma, there are various samskaras or rites that are usually performed. And the final rite that we perform, it is referred to as Antishti. Just excuse me 1 second. So as we are joining here today, we are basically, well, not discarding of, but we are returning the vessel or the body that would have once housed this individual that you would have known. Today, as we go through this process, very simply and very quickly, I would explain to the best of my ability what is being done so that you can have a better appreciation for it, right? With that being said, I want that when we join in prayer today, as the soul would have exited from the body and the soul will continue its journey because the soul is divine, we will join in prayer, we will offer our love in whatever way you know how to, in whatever way you feel comfortable. As vibration transcends anything, we're going to send that vibration of love in the direction of the departed one. As you join in prayer here at this point in time, I ask you to close your eyes, bow your heads in prayer. As we pray together, those of you that wish to chant, you can repeat after me. Repeat after me, say Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Let's pray with faith, love and devotion. Om Harihi Om Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanur Mardanam Devaki Paramaanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Mokam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Lange Tegiram Yerkrapatumaham Vande Paramaanandam Madhavam Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunvante Devyaistave Vire Sangaparkamopanashrehi Gayantyam Samagaha Dhyanavastita Targatena Manasa Pashantyam Yogino Yasyantam Navarusura Suraganaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha Harihi Om. Om Vishnu 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 Srimad Bhagavato Mahapurushasya Vishnu Pravartamanasya Ija Shri Brahma Hina Ritye Prarade Shishveta Varaha Kalpe Vavasvat Manvantri Ashtavinshatitame Kaliyuge Kalipratham Charane Bhur Loke Chanara Deshe Pinal Nagare Buru's Funeral Home Sthite Shri Vikramaditya Samvat Amukha Masya Amukha Pakshe Amukha Titav Amukha Vasare Amukha Nakshatre Amukha Yogi Amukha Karane Amukha Rashi Sthite Surya Uttar आयनी शशांक च शेषेषु ग्रहेषु यथा यथा राशि स्थान स्थितेषु कश्यप गोत्रस्य अमुकनामस्य श्री अविनेश देवांसिंह प्रेतस्य अंत्येष्टिकर्म अहं करिष्ये ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय राम सिया राम जय जय राम राम सिया राम जय जय राम हो मंगल भवन अमंगल हारी द्रवहु सुदशरथ अजर बिहारी राम सिया राम जय जय राम राम सिया राम जय जय राम होई ही सोए जो राम रच राखा को करि तरक बरावे साका राम सिया राम जय जय राम राम सिया राम जय जय राम रघुकुल रीत सदा चली आए प्राण जाए पर वचन न जाए राम सिया राम जय जय राम राम सिया राम जय जय राम हरि अनंत हरि कथानंता कहि सुनहि बहु विधि सब संता राम सिया राम जय जय राम राम सिया राम जय जय राम बोलो सियापति रामचंद्र की जय श्री वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय She could offer the flowers and stuff. So as we commence with our rituals here today, there are a few rituals that we are going to conduct, starting with any ritual that we perform, just like in our regular lives when we live. One of the very important aspects is purification. So we're going to perform at this point in time the cleansing or the purification of the body. Om Adhyamukhotrasya Mukhapretasya Pretatva Nivarnartam Mritistani Shavat Nimitam Snanam Maya Diyate Tavopatishtatam Pretanantadayakam. Just straight down. Yeah. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Bolo Shri Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. At this point in time, we're going to place the sacred mark, anointing the body with the sacred mark Chandan. This Chandan is made from something called sandalwood. And being made from sandalwood, what it does is sandalwood gives a very cooling effect that keeps things in a state of balance. So generally when we are performing rituals, well, my one is very different from the usual because mine is activating the energy center of my third eye here. As you know, if you're a little bit spiritual, you'll understand to do the things that I have to do, I have to tap in a little bit deeper. But the regular chandana is made from sandalwood, the white one. When you are doing any rituals, when it's any type of worship, what it does, it helps to bring your body into a state of calmness, into a state of balance. So that's why we place that 1, 2, 3 here, because we want this, the energies that make up the body here, to be in a state of balance. Om Adyamukhu Gotrasya Mukhu Pretasya Pretatva Mritistane Shavat Nimitam Chandanam Mayadiyate Tavo Patishtatam Pretanantadayakam. All right. Next, we are going to offer the gift of fragrance, gandham. And generally in our lives, I'm sure that all of us here at some level, we utilize fragrance, not so? Before you come here today, you put on a little bit of, what's it called? Perfume, right? I was not living in the puja there, and they went in the car to put this stuff, and auntie came back and asked her, she said, Baba, what you have in your car smelling so sweet? I don't make up stories, that's a true story. She said, what you have in your car smelling so sweet? I said, I just sit down in the car, that's why the car smelling so sweet. She said, no, Baba, it has something in it, you're tricking me. She said, I have something in the car. I said, it's important for your environment to always smell very sweet. Not too much. Too much is never good, right? Just like too little is not good as well. It's important, the things that our senses interact with in this world, my dear friends, it helps to either enhance our experience or make our experience very poor in nature. And we don't want a poor experience, right? You want to have the best one possible. So whatever you could do to enhance your senses and keep your senses in a state of balance and all of these things is very important. So the sweet fragrance tends to attract positive entities, positive energies, etc. So that's why we always use the sweet fragrance, right? Om Adyamukhu Gotrasya Mukhu Pretasya Pretatva clockwise. Mritistane Shavat Nimitam Gandham Mayadiyate Tavopatishtatam Pretanantadayakam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayan, Narayan, Bhajaman Narayan, 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 Bhajaman Narayan, Sri Hari Madhav Narayan, Bhajaman Narayan, Sri Hari Madhav Narayan, Bhajaman Narayan, Murali Sham, Mohan Sham, Murali Sham, Mohan Sham, Murali Mohan Sham, Murali Mohan Sham, Mere Ram He Ghansham, Sai Sadguru Naam, Mere Ram He Ghansham, Sai Sadguru Naam, Narayan, Narayan, Bhajaman Narayan, 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 Bhajaman Narayan. Bolo Shri Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. So now at this point in time, we're going to offer a gift of, this is called Pushpa Mala. Pushpa in Sanskrit means flowers. And Mala means a garland. Why do we give somebody flowers? Why do you think that is important? Very, very soon we have a day that, you know, everybody gives flowers now. So coming up, February 14th. Yeah, why do we give, plenty of people give flowers on that day, right? It symbolizes our, correct, it symbolizes our love. Similarly here, so the flower symbolizes our love. Now, the thing about it, generally, it's symbolic of that. I always tell people the most important time to give the flowers when? When you are alive. Very good, right? So we're all on the same page. It's to give it when you are alive, when you can appreciate it and you can cherish. So this is a reminder for us, my dear friends, that time in itself may never come back. Opportunity in itself may never come back. So when you have those around you that you love and you appreciate, you cherish, and you can do nice things, not just the flowers, but generally, it applies in everything. You can do nice things to them, you can say the kind words to them, all of these different things, right? You can express yourself in the way that you feel. The best time to do it is when? Tomorrow? The best time to do it is now. Kal kare so aaj kar, aaj kare so ab. What you have to do tomorrow, do it today. What you have to do today, do it now. Except go to work. Don't go to work anything now. You can wait until tomorrow, right? But you know what I mean, right? So there are certain things. You understand exactly what I'm talking about, right? In life, do not take things for granted. Do not take time for granted, because time waits on No, man, right? And you may never get that chance again. So today, as we place the flowers, though, we are reminding ourselves of this, but at the same time, you are expressing your love, right, to your nephew who has transitioned, and you're saying, the mala here is not tied together, but it's broken. You are saying today, you have to continue on your journey, so I'm releasing you. But with all of the love in my heart, I'm releasing you and allowing you to continue, and I pray that you go on your journey peacefully, right? So take your time and place it. Om Madhyamuku Gotrasya Mukupretasya Pretatva Nivarnartam Mritistane Shavad Nimitam Pushpamala Mayadiyate Tavo Patishtatam Pretanantadayakam. Bolo Shri Vrindavan Mehari Lal Ki Jai. Now we're going to wave the sacred light. So as we're about to wave the sacred light now in form of the arti, we are basically dispelling darkness. Again, everything is symbolic, right? So we are dispelling darkness. But you say, well, Baba, this room well lit up, boy. What darkness are we dispelling, right? What is the greatest form of darkness that we can have in our lives? What do you all think is the greatest form of darkness we can have? Anybody? Ego? Evil. All right, cool. Anything else? Where does evil come from? Oh, all right. Anything else? I never see the devil take a gun and shoot a man yet. You ever see that before? Jai Bhagwan. I never see that before. I've seen human beings do it. On the contrary, I've seen human beings take a gun and protect and serve. Right? I've seen, we're going very deep today, very, very deep. And this is science I'm talking about. And I'm going to, anything I tell you, I'll back it up scientifically, right? I've seen people be very, very kind, and I've seen people be very, very hateful. Now, I've seen nice people be very hateful. Who caused them to be like that? There's a saying that says, hurt people. Nobody makes us do anything. Situation and circumstance makes a person act in a particular manner. If they are not properly equipped physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. If a person is in a state of balance at a certain level, they will act in accordance with their duty. If they are not, then we allow things like fear and other things to take control. The greatest form of darkness that we have that exists, my dear friends, is something called ignorance. Ignorance is the lack, philosophically and with everything else spiritually, is the lack of knowledge and awareness. Somebody doesn't know how to do something, right? They don't know how to do it. They don't do it. They can't do it. You tell them to do it. They have no idea how to do it. You give a man who does not know how to drive a vehicle, he will crash. He may kill somebody or kill himself. Nobody did it except him. In life, a lot of the decisions that some people make sometimes is based off of ignorance, and that's where the problem comes. You know, when you're driving on the road and somebody give you a bad drive, and you're like, oh God, this man paid for your license, right? Because literally he did. More than likely, there's a high chance that he actually did. But if he went through listen very carefully, if he went through the process and the right methods of acquiring the ability and developing the skill to drive the vehicle, would he not be able to drive it? Yes, he would be able to drive it. So what I'm getting at here is that, my dear friends, when you have knowledge, when you have awareness, and this is something I've spent over decades studying and practicing and teaching people around the world, right? Not in Hinduism, to everybody from different walks of life and stuff like that, right? So I'm accustomed with this. So when you spend time understanding that and you realize that, okay, the more that I learn, the more knowledge I take in, all of a sudden my awareness increases, and all of a sudden I'm able to do better, I'm able to act better. You realize that life is way more simple and way more beautiful than you actually thought it was. So today, as we wave the sacred light here, the darkness comes from the negative thoughts. The darkness comes from the anger, the jealousy, the lust, the greed, the hatred. All of these tendencies that human beings carry within their mind. Because, again, of situation, circumstance, etc. So today, as we wave this light, I want all of us to pray from our hearts, and I want us to ask God to be that guiding light, to guide us in the right path, in the right direction, and to fill our minds with the knowledge that we need so that we do not remain in the darkness of ignorance. Because then we will act, when you're in ignorance, there is something that is taught in the Western world that talks about your paradigm, your mental program, and when you look at it, one side, your mind could be programmed through knowledge, on the other side, it's through ignorance. Whenever there's ignorance, there's fear. When there is knowledge, there's love, and everything is based off of coming from that aspect of love. You'll act differently, right? So we pray and we ask God to guide us, to be that guiding light that we have here today, so that we can also be able to uplift ourselves and progress, just like we are praying for the soul itself to be uplifted here today. So you take your time and you wave it, and we ask God to take us all out of this darkness. Om Adyamukugotrasya Mukupretasya Pretatva Nivarnartam Mritastane Shavad Nimitam Deepam Mayadiyate Tavopatishtatam Pretanantarayakam. Om Jai Krishna Hare Shri Krishna Hare Dukhiyo ke dukh dur kare Jai 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 Krishna Hare. Jab charo taraf andhiyara ho आशा का दूर किनारा हो जब चारों तरफ अंधियारा हो आशा का दूर किनारा हो और कोई न केवन हारा हो फिर तू ही बेड़ा पार करो जय 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 कृष्ण हरे जय कृष्ण हरे श्री कृष्ण हरे दुखियों के दुख दूर करे जय 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 कृष्ण हरे तू चाहे तो सब कुछ कर दे विष को भी अमृत कर दे तू चाहे तो सब कुछ कर दे विष को भी अमृत कर दे पूरन कर दे उसकी आशा पूरन कर दे उसकी आशा जो भी तेरा ध्यान धरे जो भी तेरा ध्यान धरे जय 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 कृष्ण हरे जय कृष्ण हरे श्री कृष्ण हरे दुखियों के दुख दूर करे जय 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 कृष्ण हरे जय 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 कृष्ण हरे बोलो श्री वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय. At this point in time, we are now going to offer what is called as a Pinda in Sanskrit, right? Sanskrit, the word Pinda means body. What is our body made of? The things that we consume. It becomes a body, right? The body is made up of 5 elements scientifically. Liquid, 60% is water, right? And then the grains and anything else that you consume, it becomes the body. So when we die, right, we are not the body. We are beyond the body. When we die, we drop the vessel that is limited to this dimension, to this realm, that is made up of the 5 elements because it cannot continue its journey with us. Now, again, scientifically, this is shown in many ways around the world. You can research, look at documentaries, etc., and you will see. The thing about it is that we think today, you know what most people would say? The body comes to an end. Does the body really come to an end? Does it really come to an end? Auntie say, yeah, the body comes to an end. She said, the body? She said, yeah. Right? Well, I'll blow your mind now. You see, knowledge makes a difference, right? So I'll share it with you now, right? So you'll see. Scientifically, energy is neither created nor destroyed. The body is made up of what? Energy. Energy can't be created nor destroyed. So the body is moving from what is called as a manifest state that is in right now, and it's moving back into an unmanifest state. Water to water, air to air, earth to earth, fire to fire, ether to ether. And then the elements that make up the same body is going to come back again. It's going to come back again to form something else upon the face of this earth. And that cycle continues over and over and over and over. It's a really amazing process, you know. I love, learning about this and understanding it better. The more that you study about it as well, you'll understand, right? We are really, really powerful and spectacular. We are amazing. We are considered as the highest form of God's creation upon the face of the earth as well. In human form, right? Having this human birth here. But are we limited to the human birth? No, my dear friends. We are not limited. And I have these conversations all the time. I have a lot of friends who are pastors and in various fields as well too, right? We have these discussions at a higher level. And when you really go beyond, you realize, but wait now. We limit ourselves sometimes thinking that I am what? When I ask people who are they, what's the first answer people will say? Well, I am, like in my case, my name is Balmish, right? They say, I am Balmish. Is that really who you are? Before you came into this world, when you came through the womb of your mother, Did she say, I am giving birth to a Balmish? No, you didn't even know until you identify, well, you know how that goes, that's a story by itself, but with the gender and stuff, then you decide, oh, well, it's a boy, it's a girl, and then you name and all of these different things, my dear friends, right? But before that, if you go beyond that, who are you really? And then after that, who are you? Most of us, my dear friends, we think about and we are aware of what happens in between when we are alive, but what happens before and after? I'll give that to you shortly. So here, as we offer the gift of the Pinda, what we are praying for, as the soul will continue its journey into the hereafter, what will happen is that the soul will take another body. The soul has not one body, but it has three bodies. It has this gross body here that you've seen today, and it has a subtle body, and it also has a causal body. The subtle body and the causal body continues its journey with the soul into the hereafter. Then it will take another, and so forth. The journey continues, right? So today, as we offer the Pinda, which means body, we are praying and we are asking, wherever he transitions to at this point in time, may he not, and take this into consideration, may he not be born into a place where, when you are born, you're being bombed. May he not be born into a place where he has no limbs or he is handicapped. May he not be born in a negative situation. May he be born back into a place where he has everything intact. The universe has laws governing it, right? Again, that's another thing that I always urge people to study as well too. The universe has laws that governs it, and if you understand how they work, you will realize that all of these things happen for a reason. Nothing in this world happens by chance, my dear friends. Nothing happens by guess. So as he would continue today here, we are simply praying and asking, may he receive a strong, healthy body in the next existence. So you take your time, he'll sprinkle the water of here, and you're placed into the right hand, right? Om Nadyamuku Gotrasya Mukupretasya Pretatva Nivarnartam Eshite Pinnamayadiyate Tavopatishtatam Pretanantarayakam. Jai Hare Krishna, Govardhan Giridhari. Jai Hare Krishna, Govardhan Giridhari. Auntie, you can take a seat for 2 minutes. Can you sit down a little bit? No? We finished with the main rituals now. You can take a seat right here. Take a seat on your chair. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Is there anybody, have anybody to do a eulogy? Have anybody to do a eulogy or a speech? Oh, all right. So I do apologize, but I'll call upon the person to do the eulogy now.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Can you all hear me? Okay. Hi, my name is Narisha. I am Avinash's niece. We are gathered here today to bid farewell to Avinash Dewansingh, known to many of us simply as Nash. To look at Avinash was in many ways to see a living reflection of his father, Pandit Baldeo Winston Dewansingh. From his quiet, contemplative nature to the very way he stood with his arms crossed or his hands in his pockets, Nash carried the spirit of Winston and vivacity in everything he did. Nash was a Woodbrook man through and through. From growing up at O'Connor Street to his days at Fatima College, he remained a fixture of the community his entire life. He loved the energy of the avenue and the vibrance of Carnival in Port of Spain, where his nieces would often find him hanging out with his many friends. While he lived in the center of excitement, Nash was a solitary, deep-thinking soul. He was incredibly well-read, possessing a vast knowledge on almost any subject. You could always count on him to have an informed opinion. Whether he was supporting the Fatima football team or escaping into the worlds of Harry Potter and Star Wars, Nash was a man of intellect and imagination. Family was the anchor of Nash's life. His sister Luan fondly remembers meeting him for the first time when he was just 3 years old. The pure excitement on his face as he finally realized he had a full family. As he grew up, it was Luan who coached him through his CXC math, a time where she truly learned to appreciate the teenager he was becoming. Nash shared a deep and vital bond with his sisters, Luann and Arlene. Arlene, who was his eldest sister, kept in constant contact, sharing many great memories and conversations, often checking regularly for each other. He was a source of strength and a true pillar for them when they lost their brother recently. In the wake of that loss and following the passing of his father and mother, Nash depended on his sisters as they depended on him. He stepped into his father's shoes by carrying on the tradition of keeping in touch with everyone on their birthdays and supporting the family through both triumphs and grief. To his 5 nieces, he wasn't just an uncle, he was Uncle Harvey, a nickname born from a childhood struggle to pronounce his name. He was the uncle who made pastels at Christmas and the one who visited his nieces at their workplaces as his father used to do. As a practicing Hindu, Nash carried forward the spiritual path of his father. Though he worked as an accountant at gate offices, his life was not limited to spreadsheets or numbers. He sought a higher calling through his faith, embodying the quiet devotion he learned from being the son of a pandit. His faith, he believed that Dharma, the path of righteousness, is lived through our actions towards others. Nash lived this by being a thoughtful and caring friend, supporting many through their own marriages and growth. Even in his solitary moments, he lived a life of contemplation, much like the sages. The Bhagavad Gita says, as the embodied soul continuously passes in this body, from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change. Avinash was that sober person. He took life easy, maintained a good chuckle, and understood that our time here is just one path of a much larger journey. He found pure, childlike joys in his travels to Florida, and as we look at his photos of Disney World, we can notice a smile on his face that reached from ear to ear, a reflection of a soul that knew how to find light in the world. Nash taught us to remain steady even in times of sorrow. As we perform these final rites, we recognize that at his Atman, his soul is eternal. He has now found his way back to his parents. We take comfort in knowing that he is at peace, perhaps standing with his arms crossed, watching over Luann and Arlene, and his nieces and nephew. And with that familiar and thoughtful and loving gaze. Rest in peace, Uncle Avinash.
Thank you very much for those beautiful words. You see how alignment works? The same exact verse that I was going to tell you from the Bhagavad Gita is the same exact verse that she came up and she read today from chapter 2, which is the soul, basically, just like it goes through childhood, youth, old age, it moves on to another body. And Bhagwan Shri Krishna, Lord Krishna, was actually narrating this to Arjuna and explaining this concept to him to help him to understand, so that he's not bewildered by this shift and he's not bewildered by this change, because he was being very emotional, just like we are. When someone close to us passes on, we feel affected, not so? When something happens to someone close to us, as human beings, we are affected. But the goal is, I always tell people, my dear friends, to become more equipped and to become more prepared, not specifically for that situation, but anything in our life. When you work on becoming more balanced, your life doesn't seem as chaotic. Things don't just happen by chance. You start understanding, okay, this happened for a reason, this happened for a purpose. It starts to become clearer. Clarity comes. So that's basically the goal of what I'm telling you as well. It's for you to basically open your eyes and understand. We should open our minds more and realize that there's so much more to us. There's so much more to us, that we are divine. That's my purpose, to help people to realize that we are divine. We are not just this body, but we are beyond that. And how do we understand that? There's a simple analogy that I normally use to explain this concept. And let's look at it like this. Let's just say, for just saying sake, that God is the ocean, right? Vast, beyond, great, right? And let's just think of a bottle of water, right? So when you have a bottle of water, we can have different brands of water, not so? That we can have? We can have Blue Waters, Oasis, all sorts of different water we can have, right? But if I were to take any one of the brands of water and give it to you, and I were to ask you to pour it into the ocean, you say, okay, of course, and you go and do it. And then I say, after you have poured it into the ocean, I tell you, go back and retrieve the same bottle of water for me. What would you say? You say, Baba, you're a madman. Right, that's what most people might say, right? Not only, right? But you said, that's not possible. How can I retrieve the same exact bottle of water? Now, we take the same bottle of water. It's called a bottle of water. If I take it and I pour it into a lota, the vessel, the silver vessel that we have there, then it will be called a lota of water. If I were to take the same water and I were to pour it into a bowl, then it is now called a bowl of water. I take the same water and I put it into a cup. It is now a cup of water. I take the same water and I put it in the freezer. It is now thought I would catch a little down. All right, so it becomes ice. But if I were to melt it now, it becomes what? It becomes water again. The idea behind this, I want you to understand this now, right? I'm going to break it down for you. You are this water that I'm talking about. You are unchanging, nothing at all. Again, according to the Gita, you can't change. Nothing can change about you, your true nature, your core. What is changing is your external reality and what is outside of you. All of the experiences that you are having, that is what is changing. The body is like the bottle. It's like the cup. It's like the bowl. It's a vessel, right? So when you are born, you come like the water coming from the ocean. You come from God, which is this divine source of energy. You come into a vessel that is created, and when you come there, just like a label is placed onto the bottle to name it and say, well, this is this brand, or it's that brand. Similarly, you become branded at birth. When you become branded now, you go on in life to get attached to a home, family, a school, to a job, and to many other things. And all these attachments are being created as you go through life. And all of those attachments are being placed on what? You? No, the attachments are being placed on the vessel that you are in, which is the human body. If the vessel changes, then the brand changes, the experience changes, all of these different things. So it's important for us to understand, just like the water comes from water, if it goes back to water, it is still water. At its core, it always remains the same. My dear friends, we have come from God. God is divine. Why do you walk around identifying yourself as a human being and saying, this is all that I am? Or listening to the negative people upon the face of the earth saying, you can't do this and you can't be that. The next time somebody tell you that, tell them that Baba said that I am divine. Because you are. You are not a human being. You are a divine spiritual being having a human experience. That is what is really happening. You are experiencing life right now through the vessel of a human body. And one day that experience is going to come to an end. What we choose to do with this body upon the face of the earth is totally and absolutely up to us. That is why when you go to eat, you choose what you want to eat. When you change your clothing, you choose the clothing that you change. You want life to be better, you choose to make it better. You don't want it to be better, you choose to do something different. One thing that we have in this life, my dear friends, is the power of choice. You get to choose and you get to decide what you do with this gift of life that is given to you. Make the most of it, because a day and a time will come when that will come to an end. And whether we believe that life continues or not, what matters at that point? What matters is what we have in front of us now. So on behalf of the family, very quickly, I just wanted to open the floor for the co-workers or friends or family. If there's anybody that just want to come and share a few words with us real quickly on behalf of the family or to the family, you could feel free to come forward at this point in time.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I am Denisia from Funding and Grants. We used to work with Avinash. Avinash used to work with us. Avinash was a very cool person in the office. Everybody used to talk to Avinash. I remember every lunchtime, I meet Avinash in the kitchen, and he always used to come and wash his bottle. Avinash would play about that. Once he buys him to drink, he would wash in a bottle with soap and water, and then get his ice and point out his drink. I'd be like, Avinash, you good? He was like, yeah, I cool. And I'd be like, all right, that is good. I thought I'd meet up every time. And like, you still see him walking through the office. Like, you know, it's so shocking to us that he's no longer with us. After, you know, every day you pass and you're talking to him, but you need to make your steps, but you need to walk 3 minutes fast and then slow down and then do it again. I was like, Avinash, I know how to do my thing. Leave me alone now. But he was a cool person, and from the FGAD family, we will dearly miss him. And to his family, our condolences, and just keep trying to get through this difficult time. So Avinash, rest in peace, and we will miss you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing. Is there anybody else?
I'm Mark. So a whole group of us over here, we all went. Yeah, we all went to school together, and we all been friends since this time of year. Avi and I, we'd get together to think about what we were going to do for Carnival. You know, we played Juve together every year for can't remember how long. And when we started to play, it was really, there was a core group. You know, we had all went to school together. It's Avi, myself, another Mark who's here with us, my friend Hugh, and my friend Compton. And, you know, we'd go from band to band. We had this tradition where we play a different band every year. So every year there was sort of this process where we get together, check this band, check that band, have a couple drinks. So this time of year, with Carnival coming so close to Christmas, it's going to be very sad for us. But especially as Avi and I, we buried two of our friends in the last few years. And with Avi passing on, there are a few of us left. It seems every year there's a few of us. So we had a lime about 2 weeks ago at Mark's house. We all sat, we had a good time. We looked at movies, we had something to eat. And we never thought that that would be the last time we'd smile together and laugh together. You know, life is funny that way. And as we say goodbye to our friends, we're grateful to be here. And it's an ambivalent feeling that we're here and we're not there. You ask yourself, why am I here? Why is he there? you know, and there's never an answer for that. But as the Baba was saying, you know, the best time is always now to let your friends be happy with you. So this year when we're jumping up Juve morning, we're going to be thinking of Avi, thinking of the time we spent together. He was so happy last year. I said to him, I say, Avi, you know, I'd always ask him after, say, how you find the band was this year? And it's like, God, I had a good time. I say, yeah, so you're having a good time. So we'll miss him, you know. And on behalf of all of us, you know, my condolences go out to all his family. You know, when we listen to you speak, we can hear how you felt. And I just thought I'd take a moment to let you know how we felt. Yeah? Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing those wonderful memories. As he reiterated the fact that it's so important for us to make the most of all opportunities that we have right now. And I see these things, I tend to say more than most. But my dear friend there shared that he has seen it very closely in the last 2 years with his own friends, you know. But I see it all the time, you know, life, you know, it's here one moment and then it's not there. So beyond everything, my dear friends, that we have talked about and everything that I've shared, I've reached a point in my life now where I've had certain realizations after my challenges and trials and tribulations, and I've come to realize that life is very simple, you know, and we overcomplicate it. If we live our life simply and we treat others with kindness and treat others with respect, it's that simple, you know. We treat others with respect, we live in unity, we live in harmony. That's all that it takes. And any avatar, any divine being, God in any form that has walked the face of the earth have come and taught us what? The same thing. You never see God walking the face of the earth and teaching us to hurt anybody, or teaching us to hate anybody, or teaching us to harm anybody. You ever see that before? No. My dear friends, we are always taught to respect others. We are always taught to fulfill our duty. We are always taught to love each other. So if there's one thing to remember and we take from here today, it's to remember to live with kindness and to live with love. So at this point in time, I'll ask Auntie to come back here now. Dan, you just give her some flowers. We'll close off the ritualistic aspect here now, after which, for a few minutes, I'll give you all the opportunity to come and to do your viewing of the body. We have some flowers and stuff there. If you wish to place, you can come and place them. And then we have a few final rituals to conduct before we perform the cremation. So at this point in time, I ask you all to join with me once more, and let's join in prayer. Let's pray with faith, love, and devotion, sending that vibration of love once more in the direction of that departed one. As we pray and ask for him to elevate, to transcend into a higher realm of existence, even attaining the gift of Sadgati or salvation. Om Anadanidano Deva Shankha Chakragaradaha Akshaya Pundarikaksha Pretamoksha Prado Bhava. Om Tvameva Mata Chapita Tvameva Bandhusha Saka Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Bolo Shri Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. Offer the flowers. Thank you so much, my dear friends, for being such a wonderful and attentive audience. At this point, you all can come up in an orderly fashion with the immediate family firstly, paying your final respects. We have some flowers and stuff available there that you can place as well. You can do your viewing in an orderly fashion. Everyone can come. And then we'll make preparation to make our 5 stops and then our havan and cremation. Thank you again. Jai Shri Ram.
भक्त भी धंधे इन्हीं की काली करतूतों से हुआ ये मुल्क मसान कितना बदल गया इंसान कितना बदल गया इंसान देख तेरे संसार की हालत क्या हो गई भगवान कितना बदल गया इंसान कितना बदल गया इंसान जो हम आपस में न झगड़ते बने हुए क्यों खेल बिगड़ते काहे लाखों घर ये उजड़ते क्यों ये बच्चे माँ से बिछड़ते फूट फूट कर क्यों रोते प्यारे बापू के प्राण कितना बदल गया इंसान कितना बदल गया इंसान देख तेरे संसार की हालत क्या हो गई भगवान कितना बदल गया इंसान कितना बदल गया इंसान
5 times. Om Adyamukugotrasya Mukupritasya Pritatunivarnartam Ritastani Shavad Nimitam Snanam Mayadiyati Tavo Patishtatam Pritanantarayakam. 5, right? RT, same thing. Wave it 5 times. Om Adyamukugotrasya Mukupritasya Pritatunivarnartam Ritastani Shavad Nimitam Deepam Mayadiyati Tavo Patishtatam Pritanantarayakam. And then, right? Put it here. Just take the water, sprinkle in the water on the fire 5 times. Around. Om Surya Chakshugashu Vatamat Madhyam Chakachprivcha Dharmana Apo Vagachayati Tatrate Tamushrishu Patitasha Shrirai. Om Panchatattva Shanti, Om Panchatattva Shanti, Om Panchatattva Shantir Bhavatu. Right? Take the Pinda from the right hand there, transfer it over to the left, put it in the left hand. Take the next Pinda now. Om Madhyamukugotrasya Mukupritasya Pritatunivarnartam Dvardeshipandan Nimitam Vishnu Devato Vaishti Pindume Ariyati Tavo Patishtatam. Very good. Second one also. Right. Water again. Om Adyamukugotrasya Mukupritasya Pritatunivarnartam Mritistani Shavad Nimitam Snanam Mayariyati Tavo Patishtatam. Fire. Om, take it up, wave it. Om Madhyamukugotrasya Mukupritasya Pritatunivarnartam Mritistani Shavad Nimitam Deepam Mayariyati Tavo Patishtatam Pritanantarayakam. Water on the fire. Om Surya Chakshugachtu Vatamat Madhyam Chakachprivcha Dharmana Apo Vagachayati Tatrate Tamushrishu Pratitashta Shrirai. Om Panchatattva Shanti, Om Panchatattva Shanti, Om Panchatattva Shantir Bhavatu. Right. Pinda. Take that pinda from there. Break it into 4 pieces. Put it here. Down by the foot. And then right and left. Not on top there. But do it more here. Do it more here. Because we got to use the SL now. Left. Right. Give up in now. Take that in now. Om Adyamukugotrasya Mukupritasya Chadvari Kecha Nimitam Eshate Pindumayadiyate Tavo Patishtatam Pritanantarayakam. Sri Krishna Arpanam. Alright. 2, 3. Try and look. Put my right. Boy. And water. Om Madhyamukugotrasya Mukupritasya Pritatunivarnartam Mritistani Shavat Nimitam Snanam Mayariyati Tavo Patishtatam Pritanantarayakam. Fire. Om Madhyamukugotrasya Mukupritasya Pritatunivarnartam Mritistani Shavat Nimitam Deepam Mayariyati Tavo Patishtatam Pritanantarayakam. Take out the... Oh yeah, sorry. Good. Om Surya Chakshugashu Vatamat Madhyam Chakashprivcha Dharmana Apo Vagachayati Tatrate Tamushrishu Pratitashta Shrirai. Om Panchatattva Shanti, Om Panchatattva Shanti, Om Panchatattva Shantir Bhavatu. Take out the pen now. From here. Break it into 4. Same thing again. Down there, up here. That's fine. 4 places, right? Both sides. Take the next Pinda now. Om Adyamukugotrasya Mukupritasya Vrishrantau Bhutanam Nandamitam Rudra Devato Vaishate Pindumayadiyati Tavo Patishtatam. Sri Krishna Arpanam. Pass the AC, please. Thanks. I'm trying to freeze, no? Alright, we'll go again. Did you fall tonight? You want to go for that? Okay, good. Alright, go. Om Madhyamukugotrasya Mukupritasya Pritatunivarnartam Mritistani Shavat Nimitam Snanam Mayariyati Tavo Patishtatam Pritanantarayakam. ॐ मध्यमुखगोत्रस्य मुखप्रेतस्य प्रेतत्वनिवारणार्थं मृतस्थाने शवनिमित्तं दीपं मे आर्यते तवोपतिष्ठताम्. Pass the water around it. Om Surya Chakshurgachru Vatmatmaryam Chakachprivi Chadharmana Apo Vagachayati Tatrate Tamushrishu Pratitishta Shrirai Om Panchatattva Shanti Om Panchatattva Shanti Om Panchatattva Shantir Bhavatu. Very good. No Pinda here, right? So that's good, yeah. Good go. Those that wish to join us, you can feel free to come in, right? It's a daisy. I guess some. Oh. Just get mine. Just fine on us. If not, I don't know. Right. Come again, just like before. Water. Om Dyamukugotrasya Mukupretasya Pretatonivarnartam Pratisthane Shavat Nimitam Snaname Adiyate Tavopatishtatam Pretanantarayakam. Fire. Om Adyamukugotrasya Mukupretasya Pretatonivarnartam Pratisthane Shavat Nimitam Deepam Me Adiyate Tavopatishtatam Pretanantarayakam. No, sir. Om Madhyamukugotrasya Mukupretasya Pretatunivarnartam Mritistane Shavatnimitam Om Surya Chakshurgachru Vatmatmaryam Chakachprivicha Dharmana Apo Vagachayati Tatrate Tamushrishu Pratitishta Shrirai Om Panchatattva Shanti Om Panchatattva Shanti Om Panchatattva Shantir Bhavatu. Same again, 4 pieces. Yeah, same thing. Come, one here, down there. 2 sides. Take one open now. Om Madhyamukugotrasya Mukupretasya Shavaharte Saraka Nimitam Preta Devato Va Eshate Pinnomayadiyate Tavopatishtatam Sri Krishna Arpanam. Take the other one. Om Adhyamukugotrasya Mukupretasya Pretatvarinavarnartam Sushan Vasyo Pinnomayadiyate Tavopatishtatam. Let's rest in the middle down there, between the foot. Sri Krishna Arpanam. Alrighty. You set it up. Right, so you come in this side now. Come around. This way. Come in front. Right. Right. Yes. Om Ayodhyamaturāmaya Kāshikāñcya Vantika Puri Dvaravatigeya Saptaita Moksha Dayaka Saptadham Stiro Bhava. Alright, good. Light the fire for me. Light it. Om Kravyadam Agnim Prahanomi Duramyam Ragyo Gachtur Pravahai Hai Mitro Jatavira Devibhyo Havyam Bahuta Prajanan Om Tvam Bhutabra Jagat Yonastva Bhuta Paripalakaha Mrita Samsarik Astasmadinam Tvam Swargatim Namaha. Right. So we have 34 offerings to make, right? 34. So take your time and we will follow it a little bit, right? You say Swaha. Let's go. Om Loma Bhya Swaha. Om Tvache Swaha. Om Lohitaya Swaha. Om Medobhya Swaha. Om Mansebhya Swaha. Om Snayubhya Swaha. Om Ashtabhya Swaha. Om Majabhya Swaha. Om Retase Swaha. Om Payave Swaha. Om Ayasaya Swaha. Om Prayasaya Swaha. Om Sanyasaya Swaha. Om Vyasaya Swaha. Om Udyasaya Swaha. Om Shuche Swaha. You know, reach half, so less. Om Shochate Swaha. Om Shochmanaya Swaha. Om Shokaya Swaha. Om Tapase Swaha. Om Tapyate Swaha. Om Tapyamanaya Swaha. Om Taptaya Swaha. Om Gharmaya Swaha. Om Nishkatyay Swaha. Om Prashkatyay Swaha. Om Bhishaya Swaha. Om Yamaya Swaha. Om Antakaya Swaha. Om Mrityave Swaha. Om Brahmane Swaha. Om Brahmahatyayay Swaha. Om Vishwabhyodevibhyo Swaha. Right, you're going to lean the thali over now and you're going to scribble out everything. Pick up the thali. Om Dhyava Pratavibhyam Namaha Swaha. Offer water around the fire 3 times. Om Sarvapapaharam Divyam Gangyam Nirmalam Chalamachmanam Yaratam Granaparamishvara Shyachmanam Samarpayami Achmanam Pratigrihyatam. Yeah, that's fine. Come back this way. Om Gridva Surishkritam Karma Janata Vapya Janata Mityukalavasham Prapya Naram Panchadvam Agataha Om Dharma Dharma Samayuktam Lobha Moha Samavritam Deheyam Sarvagatrani Divyam Lokansa Gachatu. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Rama Rama Krishna Krishna